Welcome back. This is Ben here. Today I'm going to be doing another knife review. Today's review is going to be focused on the Coast knife that I picked up. This is the FX352. So I bought this knife on a whim in Ohio. I live in Utah, so it was kind of a souvenir knife for me. Figured I'd commemorate my trip to Ohio. So, pardon me. I picked this knife up because I like the design of it, and I've been using it fairly regularly. You may have seen it in a few of my other videos where I sharpened it and just used it as an example. But now comes the review part of it. I've put it through a few months of use, actually. And I think maybe that should be a little bit of a testament to the knife itself, because I've been patient enough with it to use it for a few months. First, I'd like to try and follow the same program. I'm going to talk about what I don't like, and then I'll talk about what I do like. And then I'm going to try and give you a little bit of history about the Coast company itself, as I learned from their website. So first, what I don't like about it. Right off the bat, I don't really like the fact that there's nice textured G10 handle scales on one side and nakedness on the other. It's kind of cool. But I'm not the biggest fan, and there are some good sides to it, which I'll get to in a little bit. But mostly I think it's just kind of weird and sort of a cop-out. I could be mistaken, but I say cop-out because it's only half done. And in the saber-type grips, when I'm using the knife in a saber-type grip, I like to have a lot of grip on both sides. Now in this, my fingers have good grip, but my palm really doesn't. The pocket clip does a little bit of work for maintaining a good grip, but mostly I've got sliding on my palm in that grip. Now when I flip this over and when I use it in the sort of ice pick grip or reverse grip, call it whatever you want, that texturing is against my palm, and that's really nice. But again, I'm missing the grip on my finger side. I do like, well, I'll get back to that. So, the first hit on the knife is that the handle's only half finished in my mind. Also, it's not, I mean, I like this blade design. That was one of the things that really caught my eyes and interested me in buying the knife when I first picked it up. But I will say, this is sort of a wide angle point, and it's not really great for stabbing things. It's not a very stabby knife. Took a tumble today at work on the floor, and we've got basically just carpet with light padding over concrete, and so I can't get it to really focus on my tip here, but I almost had it for a sec. It really took a blow on the tip. It's going to take a little bit of effort to grind that back out. There's not a whole lot that I don't like about the knife. That's pretty much it. I will say the pivot itself is kind of stiff, so it really takes a lot of force to flick it out. If you don't give it enough force, it stops early. And granted, it's a manual opening knife. It's not an auto. It's not supposed to be amazing at flipping out, but that's something I like in a knife. Even a manual is being able to flip it out nice. So there's not a lot that I don't like. Oh, and it doesn't hold an edge as well as I would like it to. I would like it to hold a little bit better of an edge. I posted a video some time ago about sharpening this knife, and I got it literally shaving sharp. It was razor sharp, and that sharpness lasted for probably a week, and then it just went down to sort of normal sharpness on a regular pocket knife that you'd get from the store. Which I should mention, I paid, I think, $30 for this knife, which is not too bad. Obviously, it wasn't too bad, or I wouldn't have paid it, but I know you can get them for cheaper some places, and some places are more expensive. I think I came out okay on that. So let's move on to what I do like about the knife. I do like this handle, the textured side. I love this G10 texturing. I wish I had a better camera for you so that I could kind of get this to focus a little bit better up close. My camera just doesn't know how to focus up close, and I wish it did. Maybe I can get it to. No, I don't think it's going to like me that much. There we go. There's a good shot of it. So you can see that it's sort of lots of little nubbly textures on the handle. And it's nice. It actually provides some good, decent grip despite having wet hands or sweaty hands or oily hands or whatever. I like the design of this pivot screw here. However, I don't like that I can't access that with normal tools. I need special tools to pull that apart or adjust it. And as stated, I would like this to be a little bit less stiff. But I like the design of it. I think this is a good, clean look. As far as this knife goes, I love the look of this knife. I think that Coast is just fabulous, the FX352. I like the jimping on the handle. So you can see it's got big grooves at the base on the spine and right up onto the blade and continuing onto the spine of the blade. And you've got good grooves on the frame lock. I guess this would be a frame lock for your thumb to grab it. It's not too aggressive where, you know, your thumb is dreading closing the knife because you know it's going to hurt, but it gives you enough to grip and you can close it single-handed, no problem. And then you've got big grooves at the base here. So I like the shape of the handle and I like this jimping because in either grip you've got good solid retention on the front, on the front and back of the handle. And you've got, this does kind of dig into your pinky a little bit. If you were using this for a long period of time, these corners can get sort of aggressive on the inside of those grooves on your pinky. In the reverse grip, you've got those same grooves there ride very well against the pad of your index finger. The pad of your index finger is a little bit better protected, I think, than the center of your pinky. So in reverse grip, you can, it's a smooth space here to rest your thumb on the side of your fingers, and that's very comfortable. Or you can rest it on the top, and it's also very comfortable. That curve works very well, at least for my thumb. For my hand, that shape fits very well. So shape of the handle, I think, is fantastic. I love the shape of this knife. It's got a lanyard hole at the back. I haven't really been big on lanyards in the past. I'm going to try and make some, because I think that would be pretty cool. But that's not something I've really ever had on a knife before, ever. Let's talk about Lockout. So the Lockout is great. There's no blade play, forward, backward. There never has been. Maybe that comes with oh, there's my fingerprints for you. Maybe that comes with the tight pivot that is sort of a hit on the knife for me. It is very smooth. It is a very smooth opener. There's no grittiness to it, and it makes a nice click when it comes out. It does do sort of a half step lock. You might be able to see here as I get closer. Okay, there's the half step. And there's the rest of the click. I wish my camera would focus closer so you can actually see what's happening, but basically there's just a little bit of a step to the tang of the blade there. Blade shape is fantastic. It's a drop point, is what I would call this. And I love the nice flat sides to it. Again, good clean look. Ambidextrous thumb studs. I'm not a big left-handed knife user, but I can push that liner lock in with my left index finger, even though I haven't really trained myself to do that. So it is ambidextrous. And you've got ambidextrous thumb studs there. It can be used either hand. So I like all those things about the knife. Overall, I think this is a really great bargain knife. For 30 bucks, absolutely. I'd buy it again if I didn't have one. And they have another color. I might buy that one in the future. I was going to talk a little bit about the pocket clip. So there's this problem with pocket knives and pocket clips. And I think I'm going to call it the pocket clip paradox, because on the one hand, we want our pocket clips, well, I want my pocket clips to secure the knife. You want it to hold it securely in your pocket, especially if you're spending several $100s on a knife. You definitely don't want to lose it. So you want it to be secure in your pocket. And you want it to be easy to use. And these two things are at odds with each other. The more secure a pocket clip is, the tighter it has to hold against the knife. But the easier to use a pocket clip is, the more loose it's going to be. And the greater risk of losing your knife by having it fall out of your pocket. So this conundrum is a real problem. And there are several factors that play here. One is the stiffness of the clip itself. Another is the design of the clip. I should mention that this is a really nice deep carry. I mean, your pocket goes right up to there. So the only thing that people see is this much of your knife poking out of your pocket. Maybe if they're looking down from a higher angle, they might see that. But it's a nice deep carry pocket clip. So back on subject here. With pocket clips, they have this little tail end here that pokes up. And the more this tail end pokes up, the easier it is to get on your pants. But the easier it is to catch on things as you walk past them. And anybody who's carried knives for any length of time can tell you that it's a bummer to catch your brand new pocket knife clip on a cabinet or something as you walk past and have it stretched out, and then they have to pull it off and bend it back, and it's a real hassle. So you don't want it to be too far, but you don't want it to be too close. This pocket clip tail is a little bit too close for my preference. I would like it to poke out a little bit further. However, in this position, I forgot to mention that this pocket clip is reversible, so you can use tip up or tip down carry. These two holes back here are for the screws for the pocket clip, so you can reverse that. In this position, however, the relief cut on the frame lock sort of helps you get the corner of your pants pocket under that pocket clip tail. And that's extremely convenient. I found that was very helpful when I first bought the knife, to sort of press the cloth of my pocket into that little indentation to help it get under the tail of the pocket clip. And that was fantastic. I loved that about the knife. So I can't think of anything else I can say about do's and don'ts with the knife. It's been fantastic. It doesn't hold an edge as long as I'd like it to, but it's a $30 knife, so I can't really complain about that. So let's talk a little bit about the company itself. I don't have as much to say about this as I did about the Opinel, but I learned from their website that the Coast Portland company was, obviously it's based in Portland, Oregon. It was started by a guy whose name was Henry Brands. And Henry came to Portland, Oregon sometime before 1919. And he was working for a large wholesale hardware selling company, distributor, I should say. And so he traveled the Pacific Northwest peddling his wares in a Model T Ford. So he would sell these knives and everything, and he noticed that the fillet knives at the time were totally insufficient for the 50-pound Chinook salmon of the Pacific Northwest that the fishermen were trying to clean and fillet and, I don't know, do whatever they do. I'm not a fisherman. I'd like to learn how for the purpose of food getting, but I'm not much of a fisherman. I don't know much about fish. But he noticed that their knives were insufficient, and so he made a fillet knife that was better. It had a stiffer blade, and it also had a scoop thing on the back. They have a picture on their website. You can look it up. It's sort of an ugly thing, but I can understand that it was purpose-driven and the start of a legacy. So Henry Brands started selling his special fillet knife from the back of his Model T, and along with his other hardware stuff. And then as the things caught on, he couldn't keep up with demand, so he went into business for himself. He dropped the other hardware company and started making knives designed specifically for workmen. And that's sort of their theme, is that they design things for workmen. So he started that in 1919. So almost 100 years ago, the Coast Company started under the name of Henry Brands, under the direction of Henry Brands, and they still today are thriving. Obviously, they make some more affordable knives, they make some flashlights, they make headlamps, they do multi-tools, and from what I hear, they have a great warranty. Now, I haven't had to enact my warranty yet. This Coast knife has stood up to everything I've put it through without batting an eye. So it's been a great knife, no complaints. That's how their company started. And today, I haven't been able to find any information about like what they gross every year, but obviously they've grown to be a fairly large name. So that's everything I have to say about my Coast FX, forgot the number, 352, FX352. I hope you've enjoyed watching this video. Please feel free to leave any comments in the bottom if there's anything you'd like to see me do with this knife. If you'd like to see it stand up to any sort of rigorous testing, please let me know and give me ideas for videos in the future. If you have anything you'd like to see, I'd be happy to make it if I can. Thanks again for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day.